Change challenge.
In the 70s, Scampia was developed to be an avant-garde symbol of Naples. Doctors, lawyers, and other professionals were contacted and given them the privilege to buy an apartment in this new area that was designed to be anti-seismic and full of greenery. However, the Irpinia earthquake of 1980 struck hard, and all the building collapsed, and a lot of services were disrupted. And the Camorra stepped in to siphon away the largest part of the earthquake reconstructions funds. During that emergency, no public or service was available. No police, no supermarkets, nothing. And it became the perfect place for the Camorra to step in, but it also became the perfect place to raise a generation of kids who has to face trauma during their daily life. But what kind of trauma am I talking about here? Because I'm not talking about failing a test or losing a football game. I'm talking about episodes that are so severe that they can get under our skin and change our physiologies. Things like abuse, growing up without any parent, or be raised by a parent who is struggling with one or more than one substance dependence or addiction, or being a witness of a murder, even to a member of your own family. So, for a long time, I viewed these things in the way I was trained to see them, either as social problems or mental health issue. But then something happened which made me rethink my entire approach. This is the neighbor where I was born. I'm 24 years old, and after my graduation, I had the calling to move to where I believed I was really needed. And I don't think I am the only one here who said, I have to go somewhere very far from here, trying to learn as much as I can. And I remember my father, which is here tonight, who said, I disagree with you. I think there are so many things that you can do here without leaving your city, your neighbor. And he was right. But before to do that, I had the calling to move in different refugee camps in South America, Caribbean, Africa. And I was very lucky because I used to work with different United Nations agencies. I worked with IOM, UNHCR, who are doing amazing work. But then, over 4 years, I just realized that some of the hardest challenges were on my doorstep in Scampia. So I came back, and thanks to ex-convicts who spent years in the jail, we created the first public toy library in one of the poorest and one of the most underserved neighborhoods in Naples. Of course, it was not easy because when I came back, there were more than 150 NGOs that are helping more than 5,000 children every single week. But our approach was a little bit different because we view the things in a different way. And we believe that an artistic approach was missing in all our services in the neighborhood. So this is what I want to show you tonight. My project is divided in 3 phases. The first one has as a main character a psychologist. The psychologist assembles all the circle and all the circles together. The kids are free to enjoy the music because the music is apparently happy. The music has a soundful, which is a joyful soundtrack. But in reality, the story is a little bit sad because the psychologists choose the different topics according to all the stories that she had the occasion to know during her private session with people from Scampia. So most of the time, the main topic is verbal violence, physical violence, abuse, or sometimes the sea or the blue, because few of our kids has the occasion to reach Italy through the Mediterranean. So for them, the sea is scary. And for us, it's scary to see them in that occasion, crying when we are choosing colors or materials that can remind them a trauma. So the first part is telling them the story just to create the path where they can feel to be free to express themselves. Not in that moment, just in the future, just to be confident with the environment. But as I said, we are trying to let them free from any kind of rule. But before to talk about the translation and all the transgression that can be created in that environment, I have to tell you that each child has one canvas, 3 brushes, and 5 colors. The only rule is to choose one color per brush, and any other kind of activities is considered for us a transgression. But in reality, the transgression is the real therapy for them. The transgression, which is generally a spontaneous act, which is far from use the only rule they have, is the way they have to go over all their past. In which sense? If, for example, I was abused by my father or by my mother, I am very scared to be touched, even for a hug from someone which is around me. So I had one of our child who used the red as the only color, but he was not completely aware about the rule. So he tried to use the only tool he had, the hands. So he put all the color all over the place on his body, and then put the colors on the canvas. And then he looked at me and he said, "The canvas is like me. I have blood everywhere because my father was abusing me since I was 2 years old." But then he had a new life because thanks to him, we create the perfect program for him. But of course, he is not the only one. But before to continue, I have to tell you that my story is combining to their stories. My life is not only my life. Their life is not only their lives. I'm here to show you how a project like this in one of the poorest and underserved neighborhoods in Naples can create arts everywhere. So I want to show you this paint because apparently it can be just a draw. But it's not just a draw. This draw saved more than 2 kids in Scampia. I had a kid, 5 years old. He was in a room, and he was one of the witnesses of the murder of his brother. Because of that event, he was not able to speak, and he decided to not speak or had any kind of voice or any kind of communication with the environment. He was part of our project, and he was in my class. And when he was alone, he started to draw these kind of scenes. And after 1 year, I tried to speak with him, and I said, "I believe I can see something in your draw, but you have to help me to figure that out. You have to tell me more, do something." And then he reproduced all the scene of the murder. And he helped me to go to the police and reopen the case, because the case was closed because no witness was there, apparently. He was just hidden under the table because he was too scary. From that moment, he was free to take his life back. And he was free to help us with this project because he made a miracle, not just for me, not just for himself, but for all the kids that are in that class. So I call this project the Safely Silent as a metaphor, because the art make a miracle for him, and he's making a miracle for all the volunteers and all the people in the world. I think in the world because for me Scampia is just a reproduction of what I had seen all over the place. So for me he's a hero. For me he's a real reason why we should believe in something which is very close to us. But he also helped me with another project. This kid is Luca. He is 4 years old. I don't want to tell you his story, but he's helping me to introduce you the second part, the real therapy we have. In Scampia, with ex-convicts who spent years in the jail because of drug offenses, we create the first natural place to express yourself, to go over all your traumas, even find the first touch with animals, human beings, or things that for others can be considered just stupid or not relevant. So now in Scampia, we have 2 guts, which is not simple to have in the city, for hands and rubbish. They are part of our environment. So we have these kids who are not able to touch or hug people, but they want to be with the animals. They want to help animals, and they want to help the others. So I don't think I am the only one here who spent years thinking, I want to do something for someone, helping as much as I can. My light was a Mexican proverb who said, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we are seeds. Hanno provato a seppellirci, ma non si erano resi conto che noi eravamo dei semi. So I'm here tonight to make you think that probably you can be part of a change, a challenge, or being part of something that is completely brand new here in our city, without any possibility to escape from the reality we are right now. Thank you.
Change Challenge.